Apple app does have a Omi wallet. It just doesn't exist in your phone. So for those of you who uses an iPhone, you can go to omi.veve.me, and basically it will unlock your wallets and gems and Omi. So that's number one. Number two is yes, Apple has a very strict no circumvene in payment system. So and this is one of the reasons why the Omi 2 gem was blocked. For the reason is that we are bypassing their payment aggregator. We do pay Apple just like any other company out there, so they do take 30%, which is public knowledge now. The integration of the cashing out, we call that withdraw, is really just to allow some of the users to have the flexibility to take out what they have extra on the gems. There will be a fee. We are going to be regulated, and the fee could be up to 10%. We are still working with our banking partner and provider how that's going to work, and we will be cashing them out as a US dollar. And I do believe that our banking partner will be converting that to your local domestic currency. But once again, I think yesterday's AMA then did mention that we will be trialing a small group, and then we'll be expanding and extending to and invite all the other users into it. And just so everyone know, we only have very small amount of user have excess gems that we feel like they need to be cashing out. You can imagine when we get to about 1 million active users and everyone has $1 in it, there's $1 million. So if everyone have average $40 in it, there's going to be like, $40 million sitting there. But only a very small portion of them, of our active user, have excessive gem balance, greater than few $1,000s, shall I say. And those are the number one target list that we will want to trial how this works. And they do need to go through KYC. It's not like you can just push a button and the money just comes out to your phone or something. So they do need to go through a proper channel.
Awesome. Mark, we got you up next, then Prop, then OMW.
Hey, David. I had a quick question about the challenges on licensing when it came to, anime titles. How difficult is it for you guys to acquire?
Okay. That's a real great question. And it's something that I do full time in the company as part of my task. So just so everyone understand, any licensing, anything, even DC, Marvel, they are incredibly hard to deal with in multiple ways. Number one is these multinational are almost run like by lawyers. So the lawyers are very protective how the IP are being used and how are they being monetized and how they get paid as well in every way. Now, so the honest truth is Japan is even tougher. Now, what most of the user doesn't understand is that one Batman or one Harley Quinn or one of these Marvel characters that you are buying as an NFT, the amount of people and talents and sign off it require, sometimes there's about 40, 50 people involved from the creator, from the coloring, from the inker, from the approval, from the creative production, to the legal, to drafting, everything, and the advertising, the marketing, the banner, the billing text, everything, all needs to be signed off. Now, the problem with anime, especially Japanese anime we're talking about, is that Dragon Ball Z, for example, the first one, and the Dragon Ball Z as you know of today that's playing, they are completely different company. They sounds like it's one brand, but they do break them down into different license. And how it works is who publishes it and who draws it and which design studio, color, and the voice actor behind that. So when we look at signing up license, it's very difficult to find one that owns everything that they do. And it's just the fact it takes a long time to get every single signature. So it's not like if you get a Dragon Ball Z, you have every Dragon Ball Z they ever made, from the first series to the Dragon Ball Z or the new Dragon Ball Z. They're all very different ownerships.
Awesome. Prop.
Yeah. Hey, David, this is Propagandist. Thanks so much for that answer, and happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
I love the platform. It's wonderful. I'm actively trading every day on Veve, and it's absolutely what I do full time. So I did have just a general question about collecting and how it, I guess, sort of will reflect what the Veveverse will be for, what it will look like. So just, I guess, in general, like, is the Veveverse a place where, I guess, a collector or collectors would be, I guess, is the Veveverse something that attracts collectors? Is it for collectors? Or are there going to be people or you market to be a part of the Veveverse, but are not necessarily collectors? So I guess I'm asking, is the Veveverse something that is going to be, I guess, attractive to collectors who want to be in a metaverse, or are there other aspects, specifically, or that are going to just attract the general public who want to come and interact with things in the Veveverse? So I was wondering what your thoughts on that would be.
So that's a great question. So we always thought about NFT as only a byproduct to unlimited universe. And we really do believe that gaming assets one day will be able to come out to Veve from gaming company wish to integrate with us, and for us to go into another gaming asset. So that's number one. The Veveverse, the whole idea really coming in is because we really do believe wearable device, our VR glasses and all mixed reality, your mobile phone. And what do you want to see in it, and how do you want to interact with one and another is another thing. So we really wanted to use that opportunity for collectors in Veve to express themselves and network in a metaverse. So we are going to be running art exhibitions. So you can actually, in the center of the Veveverse, there's going to be gallery, for example, or sports stadium. It could be, right, what you see in real life is what we're going to have it in there. The idea is to bring everyone into it, and everyone who has the same hobby. And you could be in London where it's snowing, down in New Zealand, Australia, it's summertime and it's windy somewhere. Anyone can join into the metaverse and enjoy another company, and you kind of become a friend, a good friend, talking about the same subject and looking at it. And the idea is just bringing that community even one more step closer than what you would in how we're doing it now. So you will be, hopefully, we will be able to turn on the voice function where you can speak to one and another in the Veveverse.
Awesome, great answer. Thank you.
OMW.
Hey, what's going on, David? Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Real quick, I do have something that I want to bring up to you about the Veveverse, but I don't want to publicly speak about it because I'm in the works of trying to get a patent. But you guys just keep on dropping collectibles. But on another note, for the sense of licensing, I spoke with Trevor earlier about a museum. I know it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of licensing power to get to that stage, but do you think that might be something you guys might be interested to possibly get the license behind the Mona Lisa or other big big pieces of art by like Van Gogh
Yeah.
or Picasso?
Okay. So that's a very good question. And just so you guys understand, we do have a huge lineup of IPs coming. Like when Dan said we have years of content, he does mean we have years of content. That's number one. Number two is I love art. So I really believe that, the way we have been sending things out or selling it, publishing it, or whatever you call it, it is very important. What I really believe, what we want to do is slowly bringing more and more artists into Veve, and also we need to ensure that the subject matter and the relevant with Veve is close connected. So, I mean, I have a lot of friends who go, well, all these other artists, the big names. I won't name them because it's probably going to be on YouTube tomorrow, say confirm, but it's not. I know a lot of the big name artists, but if I bring them into Veve today, it's not going to be relevant to a lot of the audience that we have. For example, we have seen a lot of these artists are trying to do their own NFT in different platforms. And I tell you, some of these artists are extraordinary artists, but they don't do very well in their NFT because they're not becoming relevant. They don't have a Discord. They don't set up a Telegram. They don't spread their messages out there. With Veve, what we do is almost like an end-to-end, and we allow a lot of these cool artists. And what we have done right now, bringing Frank on, Jermaine, Ron English, and we've got Simone, and we've got a lot more artists that we'll be announcing in the coming weeks, is that they are relevant to what our community is about. And we're about pop, fandom, and it's related to licensing and, innovation. But you are right. We are going to have to start looking to bring some of these cool stuff, like you said, Mona Lisa, like these Van Gogh. There's opportunity. And we have reached out to, these foundations and museums to look at how we can help them to raise money, raise awareness, to become relevant to the new audience. We are doing a lot of these things, and we'll continue. But most of those things will probably hopefully exist in the Viviverse when we run exhibitions. I just don't know how Mona Lisa, the museum, will feel if we start minting the NFT off it, type of thing. But we'll have to have a look at it. But right now, our main aim is to grow our audience and to have relevant subject matters that is close to our fan base.
Awesome. Nexus, go ahead, man.
Thank you so much for having me up here, Kaki. And hi, David. Happy birthday, 1 year. That's amazing, bro.
Thank you.
So you answered the question about anime earlier, and I've been talking about anime for a while. We really love anime over here. So when it comes to there's a lot of anime or different IPs out there that have fusions with their IPs, right? So you got Digimon, you got Dragon Ball Z especially. So with the Dragon Ball Z, I know this is, that comes down to licensing, but do you guys think it would be a dope idea to have fusions where when you fuse your NFTs, it burns some sort of either the NFT itself, for example, if you have 100,000 of Vegeta, 100,000 of Goku, when you fuse two of them are gone, but you get Vegito or Gogeta. Same thing with, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't get me hyped. All right, let me just finish. All right, so stuff like that, and on top of it, think about it, when you have these NFTs, then that adds a level of gaming aspect to it. It's who has the most Vegetos or Gogeta, and you could have it a power ranking system. I got Vegito, I got Goku, I got Kid Buu, I can go on for days. What do you think about stuff like that?
Yeah. So this is really going into the gamification, and we will see more and more of this coming in Veve. To start with, that NFT will interact. We have tried it out. I think the audience earlier mentioned the Ghostbusters with the Slimer and the Ghost Trap. We will be bringing more out, and I do understand when you put the two together, you kind of burn the two and you get another limited edition one. It is definitely a possible. The biggest thing for us right now, obviously we've got a lot of things we need to fix up before we implement these. Is one of the major things is that we need to ensure that our audience are able to accept that. You know, what you don't want to do is when we were a kid, you used to play with marbles. You bring a bag of marble to school and you play for, you know, for keeps, right? And you go home with an empty bag of marbles. So we just want to make sure the people who is participating will understand, you know, the game and how this will evolve. So we'll definitely look at it. I mean, it's a great idea for sure.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Who you up, man?
Yeah, David, congratulations for everything that you're doing. This has been an amazing ride, you know, and I definitely want to say congratulations on a happy birthday as well. Just real quickly, wanted to ask you, where do you see the largest trend currently going in NFTs? As you know, there's different spaces. We were just talking about it. There's the fine art, the digital art space. There's as well the niche now with the licensed branding, which you guys are probably doing the best in as far as my estimation right now. Where do you see the potential growth and the biggest ROI trends currently?
Yeah, that's a real good question, and I'm just going to be honest here. I mean, we started off as an underdog project because everyone laughed at us to go, well, these brands would never come into NFT. And I just want everyone to understand it's a very, very hard entry level for this game, what we are doing. The licensing game is extraordinarily hard. Number one is to gain trust. And number two is eventually what we want to see is all our assets, or at least the metadata of the NFT you own, is interoperable into other platforms. And as you guys all know, when we come into this, the major player is Dapper Labs, they had the CryptoCat came in, they evolve into their NBA Top Shop today, and they will have other games similar NFT project out there. So they're all about the moving images. And then you have the Animoca who really into the, you know, other things like Sandbox. You have the Central Land, which is now becoming more NFT and other related matters. And now you have a lot of marketplaces popping up. And I think Coinbase announced, and that's a very great welcoming. And I believe eBay will be in the NFT business of helping aggregating, transacting. So you have all these major platforms out there. Now you need assets to be sitting on. And I know what has been extraordinarily popular has been these avatars, these one-off avatars, and some of them are very cool, don't get me wrong. But where we see emerging coming out is really, you know, gamification, you know, where NFTs have other utility value, where I believe that it's going to be the biggest growth phase coming up. Because apart from owning that avatar, what do you want it? Do you want it to grow old? Do you want it to evolve? Do you want it to, you know, you put two together, become something else? And this is something constantly with Veve, is that we are trying to be as innovative as we possibly can. And just so everyone understand, it is already very hard to get all the existing IP owner to live in the same space. You guys know your showroom can have Batman and Superman and all the other characters. That's how it evolves in the real world of collecting. You'll never put your Marvel or your DC toys collectibles separately. You move them together because they're all superheroes. So what we have done in Veve, we like to explain to people is that it is very complex on the licensing. And we do believe that apart from owning these digital collectible, you can take photos with it. It's about the utility. What can you do afterwards with these? And gamification is where a big sector of the NFT will be going. But there's other ways, and you know, there's a lot of other projects out there. They are brilliant. And they focus completely different type of things. And I think overall, I'm really, really pleased that the industry is going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be here to stay. It's just so, you know, having Coinbase on, it's just a remarkable decision for them. And they really believe it's a big thing and we're quite bullish about that as well.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Non-fungible, the legend. What's going on, brother?
Hey, thank you for having me up here, man. Pineapple Gang. What's up, David?
Oh,
Man?
what's
I
up?
appreciate everything. Yeah, man, I appreciate everything. And, it's always good talking to you. And I'm finally glad to, be up here in the spaces. And I do have one question, too. This is a little bit different. But, I made the AR Omi token, and I want to complete the trade with you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I need to tell you guys, I have not been able to go into my Instagram and check every message. I will be probably this weekend or during this week. I got about 3,000 or 4,000 messages I need to reply. So I'll hit you up on the private message there for sure. You guys there?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
Sorry.
Crypto. What's the name of your store, your business?
The store is Vagabond Games.
That was a great.
That was an amazing story. Thank you.
Man,
Thank you for sharing, David.
That was beautiful. And you saying that, David, we will probably demand that we have the exact replica of this building drop down as a centerpiece in the Veve world, because other than that, then I'm gonna have to get some tickets, because now I have to go to this store now. Like, that store just made, we have to go there. You know what I mean?
And I tell you about the store and why we build the Veve the way we build it is that in back of my shop, there's gaming tables, there's trestles tables out there. Kids come in, like I say, any weather, anytime. You will come in. You don't know you don't know anyone there, but you will walk away at the end of the day. You make new friends in my store because you speak the same language. You communicate the same thing. You have the same interest and the same hobby. And that's basically why we had built Veve the way we have built it. It's all about the community, and it's all about that drive because we are all in it for the same thing, and unfortunately, when you become a family, you do have arguments just in like real life because you missed out a job, your brothers got the collectible you won in the pack. It will happen in real life in Veve, and that's what we're experiencing. But I rest assure you, everything we're trying to do is really going back to how being true to our collectors and being true to our fans. That's what we want to do.
Yeah. Well, hopefully these spaces that you guys pop in on a disappointment, and we're holding up our end of that deal, man. I'm gonna try to bring a little. You're welcome, man. I'm gonna try to bring a little bit more order in here. OVR, we have you next. If you have not answered or asked David a question, can you please click on your name and raise your hand? There'll be a little hand icon. If you click on that heart with the plus on it, all the way to the far right, there should be an icon to raise your hand, just so I can get a little order of who hasn't asked the question yet. I think I know the order. So we got OVR, then we got Eduardo, then we got Marcus, then we got Clutch, then Taps, then I'ma lay low. So go ahead, OVR.
First off, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to thank Dan for creating this space we have right here. I know that our host, or our co-host, is actually Cryptocat-Guru, but what I mean is, thank you for creating everything that it is that we cherish so much these days and for the days to come. Because without your vision, we wouldn't even have this space. My brother Cryptocat-Guru and Propaganda and Nexus and all of us wouldn't have been on here for 12 hours straight if you didn't give us something to look forward to each and every day of our lives, right? So I'll start off with that, and
by Dan he means David, just so you know.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Yep.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, one is the same, bro. It's all the same.
I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't, because I know who you are, David. I definitely do.
It's all good.
But we get nervous, right? We're human. No bots here. But these So these are my questions. I got 3 of them. You can choose to pick from any one of them if you can answer any one of them, or all of them if you wish. But my first one is, will the VVverse be AR or VR based, or both? My second question is, are y'all looking into a photo album for us that like to take pictures? Because I know we're maxed out at 60. And my third question is, are y'all guys considering, I actually already know the answer to this question, but are y'all considering AI NFTs? And what I mean by that is artificially intelligent NFTs.
Yeah. By the way, these 3 questions are all very good questions. Now, we really do believe in wearable device. I think we will be a mixed reality where, you can use your phone to walk into this metaverse, or and you can use your computer. The idea is we do want to have some sort of wearable in your head and around your eye. It could be all these new glasses that's coming out, which is more, AR style. So that's that one. The second question you asked was, what was that again, just quickly?
Yeah, like a photo album.
Oh, yes. That one,
limited.
that one I do need to bring it up with Dan. He's more of the UI UX genius on it, and he understands how much we can take. So I won't answer that one, but I will definitely bring it up to him. We are going to be looking to, as we all know, we are in the process of scaling the app. We're working with AWS closely to scale and everything, and our bandwidth across the whole world. So that's definitely being a topic for discussion. And the AI NFT, we are going to be looking into it. Right now, we are not designed fully function with AI, but it's something that have been brought up to our attention the last couple of months. We are looking into it, and hopefully, definitely, like I mentioned earlier, it's all about utility value. So we'll try to add as much as we can into it.
And on that note, Mr. David, bless you on your continued success, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that, OVR. Eduardo, you up, bro? All right. Okay, go ahead, man. I got you. Go ahead, Eduardo.
I'm sorry, I was looking the pictures. So I have some things to say, like, let's say 5 things. First will be, if we can get inside of the comic, it will be nice. Second, if on the iPhone, if they can fix the glitch when you send a message and the other guy freezes. So if I send a message to one person on the Veve app, I can freeze his phone for like 5 seconds. So maybe someone can troll.
Okay. That I'll bring that up with Daniel for sure.
Okay. 3-1. It will be if they can be automatic refreshing on the screen, because I move too much my my little finger on the screen.
Yeah.
Just to refresh the screen. Another thing is, if we can add the auto, like, find minds when, let's say, you are sleeping and your phone says, "Oh, mine 2021 is on the market."
Yes. I think
Awesome. Appreciate the question.
a lot of these the tech side, Dan is aware of, and we just being a little bit tight on resource, and I think couple of the thing has been on the priority, so I will need to check out. But please do stay tuned. I think we do roll out multiple updates a week, sometime even more. So continue to update your phone. The
awesome.
app, I mean,
Appreciate
on
that.
your phone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Clutch, go ahead, man.
Hey, man, what's up?
What's going on, bro?
I just had 2 questions I was gonna ask. These AMAs, like, how long do we plan on doing them for? Like, in 5 years, are we still gonna be doing AMAs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, we quite like AMA. I mean, it does. I guess it's a good way for us to reach out to our audience. We are going to, yeah, we might do AMA and meet in our Veve first one day. You know, coming up. So yeah. So it's going to be very different.
Okay, nice. And I wanted to ask. I wasn't able to catch the last AMA. So, was there any update on the MTO?
Yeah, we basically have finalized all the connecting. I think we're doing some testing coming week internally, and then we'll start selecting the first batch of users. And we'll go from there.
All right, no,
Clutch, appreciate it, Clutch. Taps, what's going on, man? Taps, big influencer in the land. You got the stage, brother.
Hey. Well, awesome job. Mad respect, Kaki, for championing on for this long. That's incredible.
For sure.
Yeah, and David, congrats on 1 year. You know, amazing first year, and happy to be a part of the community and to be a part of the success, or at least watch it, right? So, my question, and apologies if it comes off a little bit heavy. I was on a stream earlier today, and someone was kind of like, hey, you know, you speak about all the positives, but what are some potential flaws that you see, and like that? And I had to kind of rack my brain. And the only thing I would kind of think of, and Trevor was kind of speaking about it too, is, you know, with, you know, tons and tons of licensors on the backlog and so many different things on your guys' plates, and, you know, design houses, how many things are just kind of on the backlog. Mm-hmm. As you guys continue to scale and grow, it's just going to get even more so, right? So I guess my question is, you know, why do you guys choose to be or run this lean? I know Agile's important, but are you guys looking to double headcount, add more developers to continue to scale? Or I guess what's the reasoning for running so lean?
Okay. Great question. So what happened was last year, we ran out of funding. We didn't run out completely. We basically, if we didn't mention this before, we would around, myself and Dan, before we came back to New Zealand, we were at San Francisco, you know, days before it got locked down. We were there to see, venture capitalists, and, we didn't see any of them at the end. I think maybe one or two. And then we had to fly back because everything was just closing down the borders. So during the 2020, the entire year, we basically were on shoestring budget. In fact, we could only carry X amount of work, and we were already over resourced, you know, tight resource with what we had in funding and talents and everything. Now, about end of 2020, we had to make a decision to either do a new race at a very, very cheap valuation, or we go live. One of our advisors basically told us, hey, why don't you go live and just see how you guys do. And just keep in mind, we've been negotiating licenses going back to 2018-19 when we say, you know, ready, go in the project. And a lot of these licensors didn't kind of understand what it is. I mean, you're almost like throwing a net out there and you try to catch some fish coming back. And we didn't yield very well, right? Because no one understand what NFT was. And now moving to 2021, when we launched in January, we had a very small test use group, and they were predominantly the original OMI holders who contributed to our project when we did a small IEO run. Now, we invited them in, and I need to be very honest, when we opened the floodgate, the download, it went from almost zero to where we are around the 900,000 user mark. During this whole process, and remember, we don't actually get paid by Apple until the following month. You know, if you know how business work is, they collect your money at the end of the month, they tally up, and they pay you the following month on the 15th. So we were always constant about 60 days behind. And we had to ensure that our employees and external contractors and service provider to keep our lights on. So those were going out. And we could not, we were not as profitable as people think that, selling these NFTs is super profitable. They not. There's a lot of costs behind it to keep the AW server on, to keep and having the retention of customer. And we had about, I think, 3 months scaling issue. Our app was originally designed to be have about 60,000 users by the end of this year. I think about 65,000. Now, that 800,000 download after really brought to our attention that we need to scale, like you say, on the resource. It's only been the last 90 days we have brought on more talent. And I rest assure you the team have tripled from where we were last year and where we were beginning of this year. And we will be going through another scaling coming up. But what I wanted to ensure our user mainly is that we want to bring the best of the talent in that field that we can. And we try to run this business as agile as possible. And I do also need to let everyone know is that the licensor only want to deal with either myself or Daniel. We are the key people, and they don't really want to speak to a second tier. They want to know how we're going to execute, how we're going to deliver, and when we're going to deliver. And that's basically all these multinational. They want to ensure that they become relevant in the industry and they become relevant in the Veve app and how that experience is going to translate. We do have a huge external agencies, multiple of them are working with Trevor, pumping out designs and work. And also do keep in mind, this NFT really blown off around, I think, April, May. And a lot of our contract licensor who didn't onboard last year suddenly all came on board all at once. So we suddenly have a whole backlog. I mean, just like any business, and especially when I talk to Dan and my vision with my team is that I believe how we're going to be running this business is quite structured. We go from 1, 7, 17, 70, 300 rule is, I always tell Dan is that, when we start as a startup, we have one person. And then we're going to grow from the 7th employee, the 7th hire, then the 17, the 70. And from that 17 employee, you're going to jump to 300. How are we going to be shaping each category when we move up? When do we bring in our HR manager? When do we stop outsourcing work? When do we build our own studio to retain all those work in-house? But right now, we have found the easiest and the fastest way is to outsource a lot of these. So in terms when you talk about, are we running lean in the executive level? Yes, we are. But basically in the bottleneck where outsourcing, doing designs, coming up with innovative ideas on graphic, characters, strategy, we do have a ton of creative out there doing it. But yeah, and I'm just being very candid and transparent where we were last year and where we were expecting this year. It's a huge different gap. I think I had to go back to my roadmap 2-3 times and I had to relook at my figures 3-4 times. And every time I put in a new figure where I want to pinpoint, we just super pass that within weeks.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for the transparency and being so candid. That's really cool story. Basically like bootstraps to red bottom. So thanks so much.
Yeah, straight up. Right, straight up. Okay, so we got Marcus. I'm gonna lay low. And at any time, David, I know we passed your 30
That's all right.
man. You know what I'm saying? This is amazing here. So, but at any time, I'm willing to put that axe in, and we just love the fact that you're here.
No problem.
Interacting with us, so no pressure at all. All right, so Marcus, you up next, man, and then I'm gonna lay low. Okay, I'm gonna lay low. We'll come back to Marcus. You can go ahead and jump out, bro.
Hey, what's up, everyone? First of all, I wanna say congratulations to Veve team. I'm here from Mexico, listening to this live session. It's really, really amazing to have all the community join here and talk about Veve. I personally, I'm not a collector like I haven't been since, but now I am since Veve, so I'm happy for that. So I got just a question. It's about more about the Veveverse, and we're happy if you have anything to say about that. I'm an artist, producer. I've been DJ for like almost 10 years. And I have been talking Veve with all my friends, you know, like in the studio. I'm that guy when we're recording and I'm just taking my NFTs, like, hey, Ben, check this out. And we were talking, and you know, like, and we were asking questions, like, will Viviverse will be a place like for artists to make things for community? Maybe I don't know, like stages, or have you thought about that idea? Or maybe I'm just like thinking
Yeah.
too much ahead.
No, thanks for being part of us. And listen, my dream for Fifiverse is going to be much grainier than what we can build today. I need to be very honest because I dream really big. Both myself and Dan dream really big. But how we're going to be rolling out is we're going to be doing them in stages. Where, the number one focus will be your showroom, where what we're going to be calling that as your home, and how you interact with one another. And then we'll be growing that space to a bit bigger. I think I mentioned we wish to have exhibitions where community can come together. And one day the AMA will be probably held also in the metaverse, where the Fifiverse will have an auditorium where people can come participate, and there could be screens up there more than just what is voice. And slowly, just going back to your point, is that will we be allowing all these other external talent to be publishing things? Yeah, I mean, it is our dream to do all that, but we just need to make sure that we are rolling them out at the right time and in a good manner, and just ensuring that everything's going to work. And I don't want to promise the whole world, because I know Dan's going to be calling me after this AMA and go, what did you promise them? So just to go back, stage one, we're just going to make sure that home, your showroom, is going to be represented well in there. And then idea is to run small community events and grow from there.
That sounds great. That sounds awesome, because I'm an artist as well.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome, man. I do want to apologize to the people that are in the crowd with their hands up. I am trying my best to fast speed through this as well. But the order, as you raise your hand and you request, it gets jumbled up. And I think I've been pulling people up based off of who's next on the row, but that I'm getting messages in the DM saying that they've had their hands up for 30 minutes. So I do completely apologize for that. So if we could just bear with me, because I'm really trying to memorize all of these names as they pop up. It is a lot going on, so I do want to apologize for that, for sure. Next up, we got Bubba Cash. Then we'll do Player One, and then Dylan.
All right. How's it going, fellas? I just want to say congratulations on your 1 year mark, David, and the whole Viveverse. I'm kicking myself right now because I was around for when the Batman Black and White, that ultra rare, like it was out, for weeks, and I was debating whether to get it or not, and now it's just out of the question completely. So, it's obvious, that it's so popular now, Veve, and I'm glad to be a part of it right now. With the comic books, it's just a great addition, and I'm loving that right now. But I was just curious as to if one day the Viveverse will ever transition over to the consoles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, where we go from here, it's something I will bring it up. But in the short term, definitely we haven't got enough resource or bandwidth to execute that. But you never know what goes on. We'd love to be on TV. As definitely, yeah.
Awesome. Next up, Player One.
Hey, David. congrats, happy birthday. Hey, from a personal perspective, it really was a high honor and privilege to hear your origin story there. As a fellow entrepreneur, I completely understand, but can understand the magnitude of the struggles you guys go through. So thank you to the team and all the hard work you guys do. My question was, have you had a chance to look at that Marvel present you guys got yesterday and give us an update?
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm going to put it on my Instagram. I do have to say, I got a couple comments came in. I think I mentioned it yesterday on the AMA. I thought was a book I ordered on Amazon arrived, and my staff handed it to me. I go, oh God, that book I paid for $25 is only like half an inch thick. And I left it on the table, and I opened it yesterday while having a coffee break. It was one of a super rare comic. I had two, Cam. One was a celebration of Stan Lee that was only given out in the Comic-Con New York 2019 on the 19th of October, I think. They only did few copies of it. And the other comic I got is Fearless #3 variant cover, one of 25 ever made. It's like ultra rare. It even has a little card inside. So I'll definitely have to put it on my Instagram. And I tell you, I can say this. I did go on Google, try to search for that cover, for that artwork. You couldn't find it. So it must be extremely rare. So I'll be showing it off on my IG later on today for sure.
Awesome. Marcus, are you back, man? If not, we'll go to Dylan.
Hi, David. Hi, thank you for taking my question. Yeah, I just have a few things I want to kind of get some information on. So I think you actually answered this a couple times, but are you or Dan going to be going to DCon? Like you yourself or Dan going to be at DCon?
No, yeah. I mean, not this year. Our biggest issue right now is, if me and Dan, we're going back a long time. I mean, we've been generally trying to stay in the same city or same time zone for a long time, and we both wish we could go up. But the problem is we couldn't come back into the border at the moment. So we just need to be quite respectful on, the commitment that we have. But, there's going to be so many other events coming up. I do believe Alex, Noah, Trevor, and Reese will be at DCon Anaheim. We are going to be running some double pass VIP ticket. There will be multiple double pass coming up, running in, I think either in Twitter or one of our social media. So please do keep your eye out on those double pass ticket, and we will have a physical stand at DCon. The stand's not going to be super flash, so I just want everyone to understand that it is one of the first few events that is open to, people again. And with the limited time, what we have, it's really going to be a bit of swap meet. I did promise our team that I will be sending the Ron English Grim Rabbit, a Chrome set, up to Anaheim to be displayed in our booth. And I think we hopefully will be doing some physical giveaway as well. During that whole weekend, 3-day event, we're going to be dropping lots of artists, a lot of new on board one as well. So do keep your eye out for the calendar when it's available.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, could I ask one more, or do you want to jump to the next person?
No, right quick.
Yeah, so I don't want to get too technical, but one of my questions was with regards to the Immutable platform. Do you want to comment anything about why you chose Immutable, with Immutable being such a young platform, relatively new, maybe untested in some aspects? Do you have any concerns with your scalability that you're bringing all your new? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for asking. I mean, this is more Dan's side of things, and our CTO. We look at things when we do deals. We look at many things. We look at, like you mentioned, the scalability, the experience. Do keep in mind the Immutable team did start off as Gods Unchained as one of the games that they've done. So they do have a lot of experience in terms of understanding what's required out there. And I need to be honest, the blockchain world, I mean, we're moving in the crypto world, moving extraordinarily fast. Every 6 or 7 months, there's something else come out. When we first chose GoChain, it was simply because it was an advice from one of our advisors to go on. And we just don't see that technology fit for what we need to do to carry on forward from here. So constantly we will be reviewing, what is the best fit for our business in terms of commercial deal, what is best fit with our licensors, because our licensor need to trust these blockchain for these assets to be sitting on. And like you say, without trialing it, we will not see what the issue is and what the problem is. And like any of the young startup, we love to give people opportunity. There's a lot of blockchain out there. We've been approached by almost everyone that we know of, from Flow, Polygon to Tezos. We've been connected with around the world with blockchain technology provider. And, one day, we possibly will see a number of changes as we grow as a company.
Amazing, man. All right, T, my G, you up next. Then we got Red next. Then we got Dan. We'll keep those 3, and then we'll follow it up after that. T, what's going on, man?
What's up? I just had a question about like the comic books on the app. So for like the Daredevil comic book, I know that it was a New York Comic-Con exclusive, but when I look at the mint numbers, it doesn't say like CE and then the mint number for the comic books. So I don't know if you guys already talked about that, but like I was wondering, will CE?
Yeah.
Behind
okay.
those?
I will find out for you and see if we're going to put a CE next to their number. I'll bring it up. Thank you for being such a spot on detail. We'll probably do an announcement if we do an upgrade on it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate that. All right, next up.
What's cracking, family? How we doing tonight? Thanks, David, for taking our question. So,
thanks.
My question is going to be more on the business side of things. I'm an old .com head that retired and then got back into this stuff. Unfortunately, using Veve was one of them. So I'm in it. I've been in it. I don't have a ton of stuff. I only got a few sets and some collectibles, but I'm playing. So my concerns are, from a business standpoint, you have more IP than anyone else. I clearly see the vision, but knowing the .com world and knowing how fast, as you described, it's moving, and also to dovetail off the second gentleman's question before, you're kind of in a position where it's almost like you're playing with new people, but also being looked at by old people, i.e. all of your stuff sitting on AWS. Are you going to be able to maintain the beast while riding on them and also still grow yourself before you actually get forced into a position of sell or expand a little bit faster than you want to? And I think, I know you have things you can't say, but I hope you can at least push upon this some energy for me to keep a hold of. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for that. If you heard early on about my story, I've been in the retail for 25 years, and that store that I started in 1996, 97, I still own and control the chain 100%. I'm not a flipper. I run business from day one, and I go all the way as deep as I can. Obviously, the business that we are in now, blockchain or NFT, is a very fast moving aspect. From our commercial side of business, it's all about scaling and ensure that we can meet our milestones. We are looking to open additional offices once, this pandemic is over, that you will see us have presence in almost every continent eventually. That's where we see it. AWS just is one of our many providers. And, we do not allow any of our providers to walk over us. And trust me, we review every position every time. They work perfect for us right now, and they're a good partner because a lot of synergy, and they're putting a lot of their resource in their hand to help us to grow as well. We navigate through just like any startup, and we've faced many problems in speed, latency, like what people have been talking about, bots and all that. And we just need time to fix these issues up. We do have a lot of good advice from companies out there that provide these type of service, and we are new to it. I mean, if you sit down with me and Dan, and if we were just in a coffee or in a bar, and truthfully, we just wanted to build a little app that sells some digital NFT collectibles. I just want to sell Batman. That's what we wanted to do. We didn't know things was going to be selling out 0.1 of a second and having like 1.5 million data calls on Amazon every second. We didn't know that. I mean, honestly, you guys, the community have over, beyond our expectation where we are today. And I want to thank you guys all. And, and that's why I wanted to be in here today, to just listen and talk to you guys all in a smaller group, and answer some of these questions. Rest assure you that we do have a long mat, and we do see flaws in our system. And we also do have a lot of innovations and dreams that we want to build in here. And we're not going to be quitting or selling to someone, so that dream can be shelved elsewhere.
Sheesh. Man, love it. Eric, Dan, then Eric, then Noel, then Crypto Wizard.
Well, thank you so much for letting me speak, David. I appreciate everything you've done for the community, and you saying that you really care about the community. I mean, the fact that you're here spending time in this, Twitter room and not doing a million other things, in terms of development and licensing. I mean, that just shows that you almost don't even need to say you're for community. You're actually for themselves. But, one of the things I'm very curious about, I'd love to kind of get your impression of this, is I look at, my life. I started off as a Batman comic book collector when I was a little kid, getting the print comics. I remember the Batman, Knight's End series, and, with Bane breaking, Batman's back, and that's like a huge childhood memory. And then like getting into Veve, I didn't, a lot of my peers who were really successful were, on OpenSea and getting, buying all these NFTs for, 10 Ethereum and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's a little complicated. And I don't know if this, piece of art is going to exist in 50 years. But guess what? I know that Disney and Marvel and a lot of these, licenses will exist, after I'm dead. So what am I going to bet on? I'm going to bet on licenses over random NFTs that might not be around in the future. So that's originally how I justified getting in the community and, investing. And one of the things that's even more fascinating to me, where this is where I want to get your view on, is my behavior in terms of not just getting the NFTs, for instance, the first 5 seasons of Batman, but it's caused me to really think in a new way of, oh, wow, each NFT, there are actual physical collectibles behind these. And so I bought 9 of the statues in the past 48 hours because my hypothesis is that each of these Batman NFTs or any of these NFTs are representative of actual physical collectibles or comics. Therefore, each one is marketing the actual physical comic that is in itself a limited edition. Therefore, as Veve becomes more successful and, these series 1s and everything that you produce, I mean, you have another 80 in the Batman black and white collection to get out. I mean, if you intend to do that. And therefore, the physical items are extremely rare. I mean, there's like 5 for first editions, it's like 5,000 of each one. You can barely find any on eBay. Overall, there's maybe 550 of all of them on eBay, and there's 5,000 for each one. So it's super rare. And so I think what's happening in terms of a larger trend that I'm seeing that I'd love to get your perspective on is the NFTs and virtual items and comics building demand for the physical ones. And if in the future you see the greater value having the NFT and the physical item selling as one.
Yes. Great question.
Because I would never, David, and I don't mean to cut you off, I would never think of buying, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm buying these statues right now. Like I bought 9 in 48 hours. Like I would never, I mean, I'm like, you know, a 38-year-old man, like I never would think I would buy this, but it clicked in my head. Oh, wow. These are going to be wiped out soon because of Veve. All right. Your thoughts.
Yeah. You definitely need to write an email to DC and just say why you bought them so they understand. So our partnership with DC Collectibles started, was one of our first NFT job, as you understand. Now, the whole idea of the Batman Black and White is because they have been released for the last 14 or 15 years to get to where they are. I think they're up to Batman 101 or 102 now. We are committed. DC Collectible is committed to bring all these collectible out in the sequence where we see fit. The physical world is very relevant, and because obviously we all start from something and we all start from very physical. But I do have to tell you, kids today, and my nephews, they live in a very different world. They start everything in their iPad now, and they are very digital savvy. Everything they play in Roblox or Fortnite, it's all digital. They will rather spend more money in upgrading a gear than going out to buy a physical toy of it, because they just go, well, that's a toy of a Fortnite, but it's not the Fortnite gear that you get in the game. So that the market is shifting. The physical is definitely getting more and more rare, and it's very challenging because the supply of manufacturing. Part of what we're trying to do at Veve, apart from try to replicate what's already out there, is really to be relevant, bringing the subject coming back alive. Like you mentioned, if the DC collectible partnership didn't happen, these collectible toys will still be sitting in a mom and pop store, sitting collecting dust. It's a way for this whole series to come back alive again. And we're seeing a huge interest in social, and our licensors in DC constantly tell us, they are very impressed with what we do, especially Marvel. Marvel and us is almost hand in hand, helping to grow the community and really bringing it out. I think all of you probably have seen Captain Carter that came out a week ago, during the New York Comic Con. That's a Marvel Studio NFT collectible. So everyone should know it does says Marvel Studio on it. So, our business and our IP providers are now breaching and reaching out to new areas where they see how they can be more relevant. And, the Captain Carter one, for example, you will know it's very hard for a toy company to bring out that toy for that specific reason, or for the What If series. But in the digital world, we can quickly take it out, send it out, and distribute it all around the world in 180 countries that Veve's in right now being used. It is very relevant that the physical, we see one day how you're going to bundle up with a digital one as well. So we are trialing that with the Ron English, the Rabbit Grimm, where you get the physical piece and you get the digital with it as a package. And that will be one of our start in the collection of physical as well as digital.
Just to show you, David, how crazy this has been, and I've scoured the whole internet trying to buy these you cannot get a penguin. It sounds like funny, but like they're wiped out. Go to Australia, wiped out. But the other thing that's interesting, David, and then I'll let the next person talk, and I think this is really important, is each collectible, each comic serves as a marketing device for everything else, meaning that, you know, even if it's listed in OpenSea or wherever off the app in the future, that is going to market Veve. That is going to market all the other collectibles. That's going to market all the physical collectibles. So it's just like everything you've done with the community, it just kind of bubbles and word of mouth and easily spread. What's special about this thing is I'll tell you a quick little story. I was next to my girlfriend in Boston, in Copley, and I got her so pumped. She's like, I want to buy a Batman Todd. She's sitting next to me. She downloads the app in like a second, and she buys a Todd. She has like an iPhone 5 and buys the Todd in less than 2 minutes. Doesn't have a big tech background. And to me, the second that happened, I'm like, oh, this is big. She doesn't understand crypto. She even thinks crypto is a scam, still bought it, and it took her almost no time. To me, that summarizes why I think this is going to be successful.
Thank you. And by the way, that we think, and with DC, we will always talk about it. We think there's only 3 people or 3 sets, complete set of the Batman Black and White. I think DC have one. Their chief creative officer have one. And I know there's one set up in Asia. You know, someone I know has a complete set of the black and white. So there's actually not many complete sets of that. And the whole point of why it was relevant for DC to bring it out with us is that it gives the collectors a brand new opportunity to collect them in a digital format. And yeah, we're committed. The comic, another thing. I mean, the 1939, I have a copy. But I will never read my one because my one's in the CGC case. I will want to read them at any time and bring it and to share it. And now Veve app allows me to do that. And do keep in mind the secret rare, the ultra rare of that number 1. It is very rare. It is the Marvel's first comic. It is the first NFT. Remember, back in the 1939, they did run between 39, I think, to 1940s, about, what was it, 880,000 copies of these. And there's only, you know, a few handful of these around now. And some of them are fetching up to $2-3 million. So, and it was, I can't remember how much it was back then, maybe 5 cents, you know, or 10 cents a copy. You know, that itself is an NFT in a different way. It's a non-fungible, you know, token in a way. In the physical world, people are willing to pay whatever is value to them. So it's quite amazing that some of these things are now spreading worldwide. And one major thing I just want you guys to all to understand is the audience that we're capturing in Veve is a huge global audience. What took a while for a lot of our publishers and partners to understand is that we are now selling that comic book all around the world. So there will be people in Australia, Singapore, up in Mexico, in Ireland, Austria, all purchasing this digital comic. So the audience is going to continue to grow, and I hope you enjoy it.
David, I think here's what's fascinating about Marvel Comics #1. So the reason why I got it is because I looked at eBay, I looked everywhere around the world, I did my research, and I said, oh my God, the most expensive comic ever sold was Amazing Fantasy, and you can actually buy it in not 9.8 condition on eBay, but I think there's like a 9.2, and there's like a bunch of different ones with worse condition. There is not one Marvel Comics #1 like anywhere in the world, but you can get it in SR and very, you know, uncommon, rare, etc. condition on Veve. So you actually have a chance to get it, whereas with some of these other comics, even if they're even more popular, you can't get it. And therefore, that dictated me, oh, wow, this thing is not only the first comic on Veve, but this is something you really can't get. And therefore, it's something you can read where you couldn't really read before, and it's something special.
Yeah.
There's none,
the
zero on eBay.
Yeah, even the comments are it's going to be very hard to get in about a year time.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Eric.
So much.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
All right, I got 2 brief, quick questions, really. The first one is, will there be like updates and like not patch notes, but like just notes? Like, so instead of Medium articles and Twitter announcements, it'll be in app instead. So like everything, you just from a touch of Veve app, like you can pop up a screen that'll show the Medium article of everything.
Yeah. Someone did tell me that yesterday. Yeah, I think my own brother told me that yesterday. He said, wouldn't it be good if you just send me a notification for all these updates so I know? So we'll bring it out for sure. That's a good one.
Yeah, and cause I would really like that, because a lot of people I try getting into Veve, a lot of them don't even have Twitter. So I mean, I don't know the popularity or the age frame of people that use Twitter, but a lot of my close friends and family don't use Twitter, and I just send them links, and like they're not used to that, you know? Like, it'll be simpler if they just look in the app, or they'll ask me questions. They're like, "Oh, how do I find what's coming?" or stuff like that. So,
I mean, definitely. We'll work on that. But just let you know, my hair has a Twitter account as well. So yeah, you never know.
So the second question I got is this is more of a just kind of like wondering. So I'm wondering if for the social like system in app, I'm wondering if it'll be upgraded before or after like the Veveverse is implemented. Because I know the Veveverse will be like huge, like, and it'll have its own social system. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get like upgrades to the chat functions in the app before that or after.
Yeah, this question I can't answer. I do need to refer with Dan. He has a calendar pipeline of what's more urgent from top to bottom. But it is definitely on the list that we do need to upgrade it. It is coming. So we'll let you know more. I couldn't answer that for you. Sorry.
Awesome. That's okay. We appreciate it, man. Noel, Ripper, then Crypto Wizard.
Noel, hey everybody, hey David. It's very exciting to be speaking to you. First off, I want to say happy birthday to Veve. 1 year, it's a very big milestone. It's a very big accomplishment, doing it successfully. I've been in Veve since like April or March. It's been something amazing experience. My cousins on it, my friends on it, and it's just very amazing to see. And my question is, we saw Ritmo go from a basic NFT to animated one, and and Superman is one amazing one. I keep waiting for it. I have 4 of them, and I keep waiting for it to get animated. If any chance, just like a hint there, because the community will really love it. It's one of the best superheroes out there as an NFT.
Yes. We do have a pipeline of what NFT is going to be upgrade. There will be an upgrade this month for one of the NFTs. So I don't know what it is, but I know there's one in the works. So you guys it will be just turned on one day during this month, and hopefully you guys will like it. And yeah, I will be letting the team know, and we're always constantly in discussion with our licensors to bring them into animated. So yeah, definitely we'll be bringing that one to the team. Thank you.
Awesome. Ripper, what's going on, man? You there?
Hello.
Hey, brother.
Hello, David. First of all, huge congratulations on the success of Veve.
Thank you.
My question is that I'm a user from India, and I haven't been able to cop a single drop in the last 1 month. And same sentiment is also there in the people from Asian as well as Australian region. And then I know certain people from USA and Canada, and I see them copying a collectible on every single drop, which I think is very unfair, especially for the users from Asia region, due to the regional latency issues that we have. So do we plan to change the drop system anytime soon? Also bringing KYC along with queue or waiting room system?
Yes. So we have been listening to all the issues that we have. And we are going to be implementing a lot of changes, but we're not going to be announcing the changes, what we're doing, because it will just give the bad actors a head start of prepping another way to bypass all these things. So you just really need to be with us, for in the coming weeks. There'll be more changes coming, and we do hear you. But I do need to emphasize again is that friends of mine down in New Zealand here, managed to get a comic the other day. So it is all about proportion, pro rata. When you have 50,000 people going for 1,000 items, it's always going to be very hard. So I do apologize you're having that experiment going through. I mentioned earlier, we didn't know it was going to be this popular, to be very honest. We were hoping, that it's going to be a shop where people can come in and buy what they want. But it seems like our audience are just so hungry for everything that we produce. We hear you and we'll be on top of that. And just keep your eye out on any update release we have coming.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Augustus, what's going on, man? All right, let's jump to Crypto Wizard.
Hey guys, I think some of the things I was going to bring up have just pretty much been covered. Being in Australia, a few of the friends that I've got into, the app, the last 4 weeks or so, it seems to be pretty much impossible to get anything, and a lot of the sentiment is it's regional based when we're all in drop rooms, and people in US and Canada seem to get drops and no one else does. I was wondering if there was any sort of numbers on that, or if we can how do I keep them engaged if there's can I confidently say, look, this is just because of how quick they're selling out, or is there a solution coming, or is preparing for Master Collector the way to go?
There's definitely a solution we're working on. But there's a lot of people trying to get into the app on the drop days. And this is like 10 to 20 times more than we expected. I need to be honest. We were not expecting this much.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if,
we are going to look at, coming up, maybe do region drops. We do have other things in plan. So to ensure that things don't just sell out in second. We were going to do it with the James Bond to do regional drops. And it was only the last minute we decided, we just don't want the community to feel like they're missing out. So in the future, if we do regional, we'll start advertising a lot earlier. So there will be people have an opportunity to get it. Master Collector program is definitely something that will be a lot of emphasis in there will be on how it gives you ability to guarantee yourself or have a better chance of getting one on the lottery. And I think Daniel covered that yesterday in the AMA quite well. And the article will be published in the coming week. Yeah, so just keep an eye out on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was more wondering if there was, you said it was a friend from New Zealand that got a comic sort of thing. I was just wondering if there were, any sort of numbers, is it people's imagination and the demand that's feeling like it's a regional thing, or is it the latency?
Solutions
coming soon. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it is really just because the number is so limited. We are going to work on all the other issues, and I think many of our community know that we have a zero tolerance on the bot users. So we have vocally tell people don't use bot. We'll ban your account or restrict your account. We are doing it, and obviously the bot users are not happy. So. But keep your eye out on more updates.
Awesome. Appreciate
I made
that.
it back.
Augustus, go ahead and jump back in, bro.
Thanks, man. It's Augs here, David. This is amazing. First of all, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the extra time. Man, it's awesome. First of all, couple of serious questions here, I guess you could say. Are we going to get some kind of a roadmap? Something that will, I'm going to build on what Eric said, like the Medium articles are awesome, but will we get something, quarterly, something we can look at that will help us understand the upcoming time frame?
Yeah. I think we do bring out once a month, monthly update in our Medium. In regards to more for roadmap, I need to be honest, we're just a little bit under-resourced at the moment to do that. Up to today on our white paper, we pretty much have delivered everything that we have say out, and we're now live. And obviously our biggest issue is listening and feeling the pain, on scaling and getting all the things done right. So in the next few months is really all about scaling, and how we can catch up with the backlog of things that we have already in the pipeline. It's come to a little bit of bottleneck, but we think after give us another few months and we'll have that all cleared out, and then we can start giving people quarterly what we're going to be doing coming up.
Amazing, thank you. That's great. And you know what? What you're doing with the resources you've had. Listening to you talk about the shoestring type of employee base and working through everything with the VCs. I think we all appreciate so much what you're bringing here, what you're bringing to the user base, to the community. It's very much appreciated. I haven't had many opportunities myself to speak on these spaces, but it's great to be able to talk to you directly. So I'm going to leave it with this. David, what are the chances? What is the likelihood of an acquisition by a larger company? I'm not going to name any names. Do you believe that something's possible? And would you say that is something you see happening in the next, let's say, 12 to 24 months?
No, not really. I mean, we stopped taking phone calls, to be very honest with you, because people don't really understand why we're doing this. You have to understand. Me and Dan, we struggle a lot through this 4.5 year journey. A lot more than one day we'll do a Netflix or a book or documentary about it. We went through a lot of pain to be where we are today, and all this will come out as a story. For a number of years we didn't take any money for salary. We lived very slim and lean, tried to get past every hurdle. And like anyone, it's a dream project, and I love collecting, and it's my soul. Everything you see in the app now is basically creation of me and Dan orchestrating and curating every collectibles. We spend midnights, at midnight before I go to bed, or even sometime even early in the morning, we get up and we talk about what should we roll out, what's a good idea, what do people want to see. There's just so much soul in it. I don't think anyone understands us, the pain we went and the share and the blood and tear that we have put into this app. And we will let our community down if we, just bail and walk away or sell. So definitely nothing in the horizon. And as I was saying earlier, we stopped taking phone calls. But in a way, we do need to scale. We do need to, ensure that the longevity of the business is going to be there. We are going to, possibly we might acquire other people in the coming months or year to scale what we want to do. We do have big dreams.
Damn. All right, man, you up, bro. David, man, good gracious, man. All right, yeah, man.
All right, David, I have to tell you, you are absolutely one of the most approachable and humble founders, and I am blown away by the transparency that you are sharing, not only today but in the past. Your genuine love for what you're doing is getting me even more hyped about OMI. I joined specifically as an investor for OMI. I've never collected in my life, and I will just share one thing with you. I got hooked, onto the NFT collections, and literally I schedule my meetings based on the drops, right? So I'm in the U.S., so I think that time is it's literally something that has hooked me, and what you guys are doing is fantastic. Now, with that said, I did have one or two questions that I would love to have you answer. The OMI token is what I got involved in, and the main reason for it. So every time I kind of hear about the buybacks or, the token utility, yes, I'm very excited about it. But with just so much circulating supply and all of that, it seems like it's still like 6 to 12 months until you really start seeing any significant burns, until there's a Viviverse or something like that. Am I correct in assuming that? Yes or no? And then I just had one or two other questions after that.
Yeah. I mean, we, based on the advice that we've been given on the token side of thing, the idea is to burn as much and produce as much product out there. And definitely we found, a way possibly to increase that burn rate will be having the Viviverse, when people can start purchasing items that's greater than $6.99. And you do have to understand that we do have a backlog of products that's coming out, and it will definitely just be burning more as we go. I mean, we are in the close monitoring of all these above as well.
Okay, wonderful. And then I just had two other points I wanted to make is, there is so much positive publicity, visibility, that I feel like the momentum for Veve, and this is just my own suggestion, and I don't mean this in any negative way, but the only thing I would say is that, when I heard about OpenSea and like this insider trading and all of that other information, as you guys are growing, I just hope you have the proper protocols in place to make sure that there's nothing negative that could come out.
Yes.
Because the passion and the love that you guys have is fantastic. I'm even a bigger fan today after just listening to you speak. To be honest.
Thank you.
And I want that to keep going, if that makes sense.
And the reason why myself, Dan, and our team, Reese, everyone who is in the public facing, we are very transparent. That's why we're on these calls. Simply because we got nothing to hide. We just want to tell you how it is. And I can't really relate to what happened in OpenSea. I have read about it. In our side, in Veve, I do wake up 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. now, with daylight saving. I do try to get the job myself. I don't get any advantage. There's no, founders 10 seconds before everyone, nothing. The movie, when we advertised the movie tickets a few days ago, I think with the Bond ticket, they all went out. We managed to trace who owns those, got their details to pass it on to get the real movie ticket to be sent to them. So, I think we're probably one of the most transparent company out there. And I think if we screw things up, we will tell you, we'll apologize, and we hope, we'll get forgiveness and we move on and we build a stronger team. And that's what we're all about.
Awesome. Beautiful, man. Hop Skip, man.
Hey, thanks, Kaki, for putting me on. David, I want to say, I discovered this app 2 weeks ago, and it has taken over my life. And I am thousands into OMI, thousands into collectibles. I heard you speaking about, the gems, the cash transfer, and you said that 30% is taken by Apple when we buy gems. So does that mean one gem is equal to 70 cents now when we cash out?
No, one gem is still $1 US. There will be a transaction fee coming out. We haven't finalized that, and we will be advertising that when it's ready.
Yeah, can you not hear him? Hop Skip, can you not hear David talking to you?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We may have to come back. We'll pause your answer on that. We'll welcome in Reverend Alex. Did you have something you wanted to say, man? Did you want to take the reins of this, bro? I got a newfound respect for what you do in these spaces. Good God Almighty, bro.
Yo, I'm in these spaces a lot, and it's as David said, it's a learning experience, and I am. As the marketing guy, I'm only here to learn and feel out the community because, if you're not part of the community, then you can't understand the community. And I hope you guys realize, listening to my boss talk here, that why I consider this a career-defining role for me. I am so excited and just blessed to be part of this project. Outside of the reason, of how well it's doing, it's just there's an actual passion behind it that you cannot just go to any CEO of a company on the verge of a new technology and get the kind of stories that you have. And I've been around the block. I've been in music. I've been in startups, and I have to tell you that, look, honestly, I've not felt this good about what I'm doing as a job in a long time, and it just doesn't feel like a job that way. So thank you,
Alex.
David, for taking the time. And then my question is, when marketing?
Oh my God. I just want to add a little bit about what Alex said, so you guys understand. Maybe 80 or 90% of the employees or contractors, even 90% of the employer contractor at Veve or Ecomi, myself and Dan have never met physically. And it just shows you how fast the world has moved. Back in the day when I hire another store manager or assistant, I will sit there, I'll do 2 or 3 interviews. All that's gone. We go out of the way to find the best people that connect with us. And we're very, very lucky to find Alex. When marketing, why are you on this call? Oh, you're doing a marathon. You're taking my bet on that, right? I will take. I'll tell you. I'll take 3 more questions, and then Alex can take the room over for me because I do have to go back to work. So 3 more questions.
Okay. So we got Deadpool, Omega, and Randy Chavez.
Okay.
Deadpool.
Thanks for that, Kaki. Thanks for hosting. Thanks, David and Alex. Happy anniversary. Just wanted to say, David, you created something wonderful here, and Kaki also invited me into this community as well and made me feel welcome. Pretty much, I just wanted to say it's beyond collectibles as well. I feel like what you've done has brought also friendship within this community as well, and also just ignited old embers. So I haven't drawn in 10 years, and now I'm just one of the content creators in the Veve community. And I never expected doing that, a year ago. So I just wanted to say this has gone beyond collecting. My question for you, David, was we're part of Voltaholics, so it's a new group that's just been coming up now within Veve. And I just thought that earlier on with Veve, and probably just your perspective and your vision just earlier when creating the app, that the showroom seemed more like a trophy system. However, we've kind of changed things and merged collectibles together, and now we're making these videos. I was just wondering, is that something that you expected to happen, to see this kind of new form of collecting and the way they were kind of playing with these toys?
We originally, when we started pitching the licensor, I will remember, and I honestly, and this will be Dan sitting in back of the Uber and punching out PowerPoint, and I say, add that in, do this, do that. Is that we really believe that the user-generated content was always going to be a big thing for the community, that we really respected some of the talent. And I think I have seen the room, the house that you done with the big sign on it. And I mean, there's some major creativity. I mean, it's gone beyond what me and Dan thought people would do. There's a lot of smart way. I don't even know how people do it on their phone to do some of the work, the artworks. And hopefully with the new bill and the new rollout, that it will allow these creativity to be easier to engage. So, and that was one of the few reasons why the showroom number 2 didn't come out straight away, because we kind of knew that our users, the OG users, kind of got used to it and quite like it, and they like the room, how they done it, and we didn't want to destroy that, the artwork. So the new room that's coming out, there will be a reflection of an upgrade of that room, and that the whole purpose is that we hopefully all the artworks will still exist, how you position the collectible. But going back to your question, is that we knew user-generated content was going to be a major viral effect, but we never. There's just so many talent and pockets and groups of talents like yourself coming up with new ways of putting these collectibles together and tell a story. And, it's a way for you to explain to people why you're into this and what makes you thought this is fun, and to share that. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing that to me. And we'll keep telling our licensor, this is important, and this is why people are in Veve as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'll just finalize by just saying it was awesome you mentioning Deadpool in the last AMA. I jumped off the couch and just doing karate in the air. So, yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for that.
Yeah. And, I did tell Rob Littfield in London. I had the photo with taking in London in 2018, I think, at the London Comic Movie show. And I told him, one day you will see Deadpool or one of your Marvel characters out there in augmented, and people will be able to buy and trade. Yeah, and I next time I do see Rob, I'll show him what we've done. And obviously, he knows that he's tweeted out the comic book in support with Veve. So definitely one of my favorite cover as well, and one of my favorite artists and writer out there.
Awesome. Next up, Omi God.
Yay! Super excited. Just two quick things. So I'm not a collector by any means. I mean, I have 2 kids, so I collect, like their toys and stuff like that. But I love the team more than I love the product. So I have like 30 collectibles.
Wow.
But I will say, I would trade all of those for a picture with the team, because I love the team more than the product.
Man, thank you so much.
And just the other thing, I don't know. I wish, but
do you have a Donnie by chance?
Oh, no way. No way. Sorry, but I would...
They get that picture right to him then, huh?
I don't know if I would say that if I had the Donnie. Just kidding. And the other thing that I wanted to say is to, keep tradition alive. Because, we had the When Edo. Are you guys planning on withholding any other collectible to keep that tradition alive?
We we got a lot of cool stuff coming out. I need to have a look at the roadmap. They are constantly always moving pieces like chess is moving all the time. I think we got a lot more upgrade things we want to do, gamification, just some good ideas we got. Edo was a very special one. It was a very, very hard to get that approval. Oh my God. I mean, I'm glad we got it out, before end of yesterday, otherwise I don't know what the audience will say, to us. Season 3, Edo hasn't still come. What's happening? But we definitely have a lot of, hidden Easter eggs coming up. Just put it that way. We're all about having fun with the community and getting people engaged and talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Randy, what's going on, brother?
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. David, you're a hero of mine, and I think all of ours. I hope you know that. I'll keep this short for you. Thanks. I'll keep this short for you because I know we, you got to get back to work. I think it would be really bullish for people to hear you guys talk about, let's say in April, going over your first quarter of the year, profit and loss, balance sheet, see what the company's had. Would you ever do that? And do you have any other crypto on your guys' balance sheet outside of OMI?
We are privately held company, and the reason why we don't give much info out, and we've been extremely low key, is simply, and I need to be honest, we are a startup. We didn't raise like some of these other companies out there, hundreds of millions, and some of these projects out there getting multiple billion valuation. I don't even know how they can pull the cat out of that hat or rabbit. Now, in our balance sheet, I don't think we have much other crypto outside OMI. I mean, it is our own native, home currency, we believe in. So we stick quite true to it. We might have one or two other assets, but not substantial for sure. To be honest, we do have gold token. I mean, we need to pay the gas fee, for some of these, for the OMI movement, things like that. So nothing substantial that is meaningful in there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. And if you ever need anything, you or any of the OMI team, let me know, and I'll try to help in any way I can.
No, I do appreciate that. And I did see your latest video, trying to come up with ways to buy it. I think you had 3 or 4 phones on pretty fast. So I do try to follow what you do. So thank you for supporting us all the time.
Yes. All my lives, I have single phone for me, but yeah, I definitely understand people that try as they might.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
David, before you leave, I just want to tell you that thank you for coming into the space. And to me, it's like, this felt to me like you Jay-Z and you came to my house and said, "What's up, Lenny?" And I'm like just starstruck. So thank you very much for coming in here, and to your whole team, God bless. We all get to where we gotta go.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I really popped in just to listen to some of the stuff Trevor was talking, because to be very honest, we are all very busy people at Veve, and we work in multiple time zones. So sometime for me to catch up what's happening and some of the idea, we try to dial in when we have time to listen to it. And, I'm just very lucky to, be on your show today. And I see Alex has come on, our head of marketing. So Alex, I didn't leak anything this time. I just want you to know.
I mean, that's really the only reason I'm here, just to make sure you didn't.
Yeah. Is Reese also on? Is it Reese?
Yeah, it's Ecomi/Reese.
Okay, cool, guys. So just let our legal team know
David,
that nothing
before you go,
Is it possible for me to ask you a really quick question? I've been waiting a little while to,
yeah, sure.
and I was hoping. Yeah, so I've started since March, and I have hundreds of collectibles, and I'm just really invested in Comey and Veve. I had a question because some of my NFTs were taken 3 months ago because they were refunded to whoever got them stolen or whatever, and then they got refunded at a market price I bought them off the app for, which is significantly less than what they're worth today. I think there was kind of raised like a few months ago that there might be some sort of additional compensation for things like that. Was that considered afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did took a while to get through the initial, before the 2FA happened. We would have, it's either, I think the compensation was either whatever was purchased for, that's all we refunded. In regards to will there be any more bonus on top of it, I can't promise that. I think the last one we ran was, Alex, what was that figure we give out on the Labbits with Frank?
Yeah, the secret rare Labbit.
Yeah, that was due to, what was that?
Gemgate.
Yeah, the Gemgate. So we haven't had one for that one. And what do we do on the Ultraman artwork one?
The 2D Ultraman poster.
Yeah, that's the secret rare Ultraman. It's just for some people, like, for example, like the Todd. I bought it for $300. It was worth $600 at the time. I got back $300, even though, you know, I wasn't the one that sold the NFT, but it got taken from me. Yeah. And then I got reimbursed half the price to buy it back on the market. Whereas some people who may have bought it off the app were given the opportunity to have the NFT replaced. But because I purchased it off the market, it was automatically refunded to me. So it's just a bit of a discrepancy. I'm pretty plugged into like the Telegram community. So a lot of people were discussing, and we were just talking about the way that it was handled. And so that's why I brought this up. And also I wanted to ask another question, regarding some of the accounts that have been, restricted from Wi-Fi or in some cases, even the data. I think there was a tweet or something earlier on that said all of these restrictions would eventually be lifted. Then the previous AMA, you also said that we would need to submit a ticket. So are we going to get all those restrictions lifted, or do we need to submit a ticket?
Okay. So going back to the first question, I do apologize about, that hiccup. Moving forward, that should never be happening again, hopefully. And I can only sincerely apologize again that it would be out. We weren't able to reach out and do more at the moment, simply because we don't know how many similar case has affected. And at Veve, we're always about fairness. And if we were to give you something, we'll have to give everyone at that same time rollback something as well. So it's probably not going to happen. I'll be very honest with you. But in regards to the recent restrictions, obviously we have a zero tolerance. We don't want these type of behavior and the bot users, and because it does create negative sentiment, for other users when they miss out, they complain. But you have one of two options. Number one is to submit a ticket if you want to have that restriction lifted. Do keep in mind the customer service team have over 1,000 or 2,000 submission on it, so just give them some time to work on it. But we will be really the restrictions. It's for a matter of time, and they will automatically come unlock. It might be a fortnight or 2 or 3 weeks later down. So
just to clarify there, David, don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But when we say thousands, we mean there are 1,000 support tickets in general, as opposed to about market restrictions. As Dan mentioned on the AMA the other day, about 500-ish people are affected by the actual market restrictions, in which case we are prioritizing those tickets and going through each of them because, to be fairly honest, like we did essentially a sweep of a number of accounts that were flagged for one reason or another. and some of those were done in air. So we are prioritizing the tickets that, in doing research on the ones that have filed the ticket about market restrictions, to unblock those that have been found to have not participated in any kind of quote unquote nefarious activity.
That's great.
We appreciate your patience on that front.
Yeah. So we just
just one last comment. I wanted to inquire as to how Veve or Ecomi is going to treat the collectibles. So the accounts that are restricted are unable to transfer out NFTs, unable to transfer out gems, and unable to access the market. If Veve or Ecomi determines that, it's nefarious or whatever, just because a lot of people I've been speaking to have claimed that they haven't done anything wrong, and then there's some concern about this Veve, the policing aspect of it. How is Veve going to treat these collectibles after if they determine something has been, against the terms of service, for example, because people might have actually put in, or many people have bought in thousands of dollars worth of money.
Yeah. Obviously, number one, we have no intention to confiscate your asset or your gems. We will put restrictions so you can only do certain things with the collectible or certain action on it. The whole idea is to be fair with other people who, try to participate in the normal drop release. But, those collectibles belong to your account. Once again, you can view them still. You can see them in showroom. We just don't allow you to transfer. But if you were caught as a bot, I think we'll be in contact with you. Is either there's few things we either refund you that purchase collectibles, and that collectible basically comes back to the company, and then maybe later on we use it as a giveaway prize or something, type of thing. So we haven't decided what to do with that. But just for the innocent parties that, you should write in, you should do a submit ticket. Just do be aware we are a little bit behind.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate all those answers. I know I kind of jumped in at the end.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's all
important
good
stuff.
Yeah. Alex, thanks for popping in. I think we're doing, I wasn't expecting to be on this for a couple hours.
All right. Baton pass.
It looks like it's a nice marathon for our team to give these feedback. And thanks so much for all your hard work.
Thank you. I'm happy to take over for a bit.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
David.
Bye.
Thanks, David, man.
David.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
Thanks.